And a Grim Faceless is definitely a strong lane. You got the Inkswell on the jump in, for example. You've got a ton of
Radiant team
wave
pick.
clear to add to a hero that's basically just single target damage.
I like
And
this though.
yeah.
Venomancer up against this void because, yeah. Normally you want to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna burst you, and then you're not gonna have HP. And void is like, nah, I'm gonna time walk it off. You don't time walk
10
off that damage over
seconds
time for
remaining.
Venomancer. It's really annoying to deal with, to say the
Exactly.
least.
5 seconds remaining.
Magnus also not a big fan at all.
Oh yeah. Well, these constant wars, like, it makes it very hard to use blink daggers. Do you end up going for Shadowblade then instead? Maybe try that route.
Depends a bit. If you get
Turn to
other
pick.
people who maybe can get rid of the wards. Okay, slow heal to offset the slow damage, I suppose. The question is now, where is NiP going to lane this? Because I would like to see them just lane the Venomancer into the void. Yeah,
Yep.
then TA, I mean, Supreme
Radiant
Classic, isn't it?
team ban.
Pretty much, yeah.
And they also needed burst damage now. And depending on what the Doom is going to be, like maybe they're going to play a +4 Doom. They do already have a pretty decent frontline in both the Veno and the Doom. If both are core, especially, like your TA can just do whatever she wants.
10 seconds remaining.
But I think support Doom would make more sense. And then
5
anything
remaining.
that can react to this huge team fight wombo combo that Khan are setting up here. Because let's face it, if they drop RP Chrono plus then afterwards also the Rockers, there's nothing you can do on that NiP.
Yeah.
So
and the stolen Veno ult or something, I don't know.
Radiant team
Imagine that together with Fatal Bonds. Oh no.
oof.
Ah.
No,
Nasty.
thank you.
Yeah.
Big team fight resets, like the problem with the team fight resets is that a lot of them are not on core heroes. Like one of them is Naga Siren, which I
5
don't
remaining.
really like into a Magnus White, but it's also not the worst. I don't think NiP plays it though. Other resets, well, Silencer has to be cast before shit goes wrong.
Yeah.
Winter Wyvern, not a core, not meta at the moment.
Turn to
Could be rather powerful
like
against all this physical damage though.
The Bloodthorn builds. Carry Wyvern. Bloodthorn
I like offlane DPS Wyvern, but that's like a guilty pleasure. As you're not supposed to do that kind of thing.
10 seconds remaining.
But I like
a little bit hard to justify in one position. I
Yeah.
do have to
5
admit.
seconds remaining.
Especially in a draft that's pretty low on utility, like NiP are right here. Their other opportunity is to tank through it.
What about
Centaur
about
with
Anti-Mage here?
Fast Axe. Anti-Mage.
It's like this. Sure, there is the Rubik, maybe a bit.
I don't like picking Anti-Mage into situations where he's at risk of getting outfarmed, as well as that he can't really man-fight the enemy carry. And the second one especially, like...
Normally I agree, but at least up against the Void, it's a very interesting dynamic, because if you jump on the Void, you hit him a couple of times, he's going to be out of mana, so it's not going to be this Chronosphere that's jumping back and forth. So you take out one of the huge risk factors, and same can be said for Warlock. You can jump on Warlock and blow him up, generally speaking, if you get to a point where you have the farm. Magnus maybe similarly also doesn't have a huge mana pool, so that's what I'm thinking. Maybe just be proactive and just say, yeah, I mean, you're gonna take out some of that big team fight utility.
I like carries with more fighting ability when you're also playing a TA though. Because if she doesn't have a good enough lane, that you're going to wait for her timing first as well. And if you're actively waiting on two timings, that just feels hard to play. Yeah.
Tiny.
So carry Doom, I think.
Storm
Choose
Spirit.
your hero.
Huh. And the Storm Spirit now.
Bit of anti-synergy here.
Yeah, you gotta be very careful.
Yeah.
About your Chronospheres in this one, that's for sure.
I mean, it's on one hand, it could be really good because you have a lot of mobility on this lineup once again, so you can totally follow up on Mio jumping in like a madman, which is, as we've seen in the previous game, probably what's going to happen. But on the other hand, yeah, you definitely run the risk here of being naive, just, chronoing your Storm Spirit in and getting hit by a whole lot of Venomancer, as well as possibly a double Doom. We have Charlie taking that Doom to the safe lane.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing how this one pans out. I'm not gonna lie. A Sableye Venomancer too? Damn.
Yeah. And like this swap really allows them to dodge, because Faceless Void Warlock is not a lane that a Doom is going to enjoy
Oh no, yeah.
at all. So they dodge that, and then instead they put the Venomancer in, and yeah, most of their burst damage and like their timing heavy fights are going to come down to Supreme instead of to whatever Charlie is doing. So really enjoy that switch up, and I gotta say I like it a lot more than the anti-mage idea, because you're not waiting for anything. A Doom can just say, all right, you know what, fine, I'm big, I'm fat, I'm gonna walk in here and you're gonna do something about me.
Hey, I'm walking here.
Yeah.
That's what he says? Is that yeah?
Yeah, that's Doom's voice, 100%.
Hey, I'm walking here. The old that was I don't know what New York accent sounds like, so I'm just gonna pretend that
That makes two of us.
Sorry to all the Americans watching right now. We're trying, guys, but we're still Europoers.
Yeah.
Oh, Supreme got
We're
100
not
battle
cultured.
points, so this game isn't a complete loss.
Do those count if you dig them up in a lobby?
They don't, but I'd like to pretend that they do. That is a very aggressive movement here, though, by the rest of them. Look at this.
Yeah.
Don't always see this nowadays. There was a phase where I feel like at least certain teams would do this every time. And then people would react and be like, yeah, but we know that you're gonna do this now, you know?
30 seconds to
Yeah, it's
battle.
one of those ways that the meta flows back and forth. At some point, it's worth doing again because nobody expects it anymore, and then you roll it back. Everyone does it again. You stop doing it, etc.
Did NiP figure out where this award wins?
He's gonna expect that it has been placed.
You just spend a century trying to
The
find it?
battle begins.
This is a bit further back than normal, even if you go for these behind the tower awards.
I'm not too sure if you do. You are playing Warlock Void, you're not very threatened here. It's all you gotta do is be careful with your couriers, and if you suspect that there's a ward here, you'll do that,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Oh, we'll have to keep an eye on it. Tiny hanging around, Sableye in the corn lane. So the poison damage over time, while you can time walk it, you mentioned it, it's being offset by the Shadow Bird. So that's kind of the effect of the Warlock, you know? Just gonna stabilize any lane like that.
Yeah. Not too huge of a fan of this hero, but especially in cases like this where people are going to forcibly be grouped, you actually get a lot out of Fatal Bonds as well.
Yep.
And that makes him at least usable, but otherwise he's lane secure.
I'm a big fan of Fatal Bonds. It's has the potential to just melt. Instead of one hero, it melts an entire team, you know?
Oh yeah.
Get the right angle out.
Fatal Bonds, Sleight of Fist.
Oh. So many combos.
Injected right into my veins.
Let's talk about these other lanes. Top, we've got Guild Gear on the Rubik. Hopefully can
No
press
great
as
start
much
for him
on
this
this one as we did on the Earthquake.
Yeah, no free level 2. So he's going to have to play somewhat more sacrificial, especially because Cheshire Cat really needs those levels. And then finally on the mid lane, this is classic. I wouldn't say like a 50-50, but this is definitely a decent lane for both of them. Neither of them should get pushed out of this lane. Supreme might have a little bit of a harder time here, but he is a TA, he can supplement in the jungle really hard. And of course the Storm can do the same.
Both of them have these jungle farming tools, you just need to Well, they'll probably dip back and forth here with these side camps, try and stack them up when I get a chance. Just to facilitate that. The supports are probably going to be busy trying to stabilize their safe lanes. Or offense for that matter.
Yeah, it's very hard for Gilliard to disappear off of this top lane.
Nice play there from Era, just sitting behind the trees so J4 cannot get that pull out.
Mm-hmm. I think if we see a rotation into mid, it's probably going to be Era.
He's level 2, he has the boots, right? So
Just doesn't have status right now. Like, he might even look for a dangerous play here, see if he can get killed and then maybe move on to the mid lane. Because his only other option is waiting for that bottle. I'm not sure if he's going to have to go for it by the time that the bounty runes roll around.
oh no, that was not the target that he wanted. Went for a toss, but he only got the range creep. But at the very least, like, he claiming control over this area, maybe getting a few of these big creeps. Certainly help.
Yeah, and if he, like, yeah, with these last hits, he's going to have a bottle now, so yeah, he's already happy. You can see his movement there, alright, I can play less risky now, I'm gonna have the bottle before the runes come in.
Alright. Looks like just happy clicking for the moment. 25-3 though on me, so he's... Some of those are jungle creeps, some of those are wards, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
As he's going for the unmanly build, which I... Yeah. The manly build is if you just ignore wards and max out Gale and think. Yes, I'm just talked about that one.
What is this?
Charlie's still on the way, trying to make a trade out of it, but Logie isn't even worried. Actually, might end up dying here. Another charge forward, couple of right clicks should do the trick.
Enough mana for another Fade Bolt. Oh, he knew he was close.
I think Cheshire can even give him a bottle charge to try and make that happen, but...
Yeah, too late. Too late. If he does that 3 seconds earlier, they get the kill.
Oh, mid lane, what is that? Era made that rotation.
Well,
yeah.
that's the Era rotation. Just before level 5. Absolutely excellent.
Caught the tail end of that. Very proud.
Yeah. And since he had that bottle...
I'd say, right, he's getting to a point though where he's... Like, if you have a critical amount of wards, it gets very tough for melee hero especially. Try and trade them.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
J4, yeah, looks like he's gonna die here.
Surprised that he was ready to trade his life for a bounty rune there. Maybe it was just time for him to go back, grab some items for his
Radiant's
void or
middle
something
tower
like that.
is under attack.
Oh, but Void just bought the Mask of Death in.
Look
I
at
guess he
top lane
just
for a
had different
second.
priorities. Ah! Misha.
I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing at the situation.
Oh yeah, like, no worries, man.
Yeah.
You can also laugh at me if you want. Yeah, he's not gonna be happy up there. Gilliard just, you know, checking if he's still up there.
He's gonna place the ward up there and wait for the TP.
This is how you properly ruin someone's game. Look at him just taunting him. Hey, he can't see, but...
Oh, the career! Oh no, it's too late! Didn't want to spend the ward for it, because it would have been a bit of a waste, I guess. But
Yeah, it would have been.
hey, lift Charlie instead. Stop coming through. Follow-up stun. Only on Cheshire Cat he is. He's giving his life almost for Gilgear. He's trying to walk away. The right clicks are too much though. That's save your buddy syndrome that really needs to happen,
Radiant are scanning.
No, not really. I mean, they shouldn't have been that close together in the first place. That's the real issue.
Oh well.
You'll eventually learn.
Let's say like 3 points up on Plague Wards now, so if he gets to make a nest down bottom somewhere, it's gonna be tough to play into. Like, look at this Nave. He's what, 4, 5 hits?
It takes forever. And he's gonna be taking damage all the while. At some point J4 can't just heal into that anymore. But you know.
Just one or two more shadow words here. Okay, just go straight for the chrono, couple of bashes. Will be enough. Whenever I chrono someone like that, I never get a single bash, but That's why I'm not a pro player, I guess. Gets 2 in a row, more or less.
Oh yeah. I know a guy who never procs disarm on Bango.
Oh god. Yep, that's me as well. That is me as well. If he does have that Mask of Madness, you do have some lifesteal to also have some supplemental health regen, I guess, on top of J4 now. Officially running out of mana. It's up top. Nisha, he's going in. The Doom over on Shashikats. No further plays from him. Extra slows and nukes. Charlie's just gonna try and run him down. Holding on to the Storm for the moment. Doesn't need it. Still spends it here for the double.
Radiant's middle
Skill
tower.
here.
Is he gonna walk him down?
Attack.
Oh, he's going to.
There's a little more Scorched Earth, so you can't, I guess. That lasted a little bit long, and if the Stroke of Fate connects, then yeah.
They're content with that. And yeah, I just wanted to point out that you could see very clearly on the mid lane, like you don't really have to go there even, you can just look on the minimap, you can see both the mid laners retreating to their
Radiant
closest camp,
structures are
bursting down the mid wave, retreating to the camp, bursting down the mid wave. It's almost hypnotizing.
Looks like TA though is getting the better end of all of that as now. Toss forward, who needs a blink, he says. Scream. Gets the double hit.
Your soul is an
And it's very good to keep Nave out of this jungle here as well, because he is farming in the presumption that, you know, Saberlight's gonna get that top tower anyway. If you disturb him during all that, big losses.
Died for nothing.
Top lane, they do get kill going the other way this time on the old Grimstroke. But yeah, with all this back and forth with the creep camps, how do you explain this crazy difference between them? And this more than 1,000 gold difference here between Supreme and Neo. Is it really just the knock-on effect of that kill from Era?
A little bit, as was that I presume that the Storm Spirit just had to buy himself more regen.
J4 is living this time, yeah. Let's make something happen here. Both of them are linked together, so a bit of supplemental damage. Era, but enough burst for the Venom. That's one thing about this hero. He is very, very squishy.
At least early on. He is
Radiant's
building
middle
directly into the
tower is
Greaves,
under
which is
attack.
going to make him a lot more tanky.
Radiant's bottom
Supreme
tower.
mid is
So
in trouble.
he's straight up with the Chronosphere. Gilga's there with a limited follow-up. Back, but with the bashes on point again. Let's secure that very important kill. And we're gonna lose Shashika here. Does have that RP. Not stolen.
Doesn't get anything out of it.
No. Unless the RP is okay, yeah, it's literally a waste.
Radiant's middle tower
Now goes
has
down as
fallen.
well, not being denied this time, like the bottom tier 1. Gilger hanging around a little bit too far in the front lines.
And this is NiP very cleverly making use of
Error.
the fact
It
that
was
Neo
true.
keep the bottom.
I think he did kind of mess it up a little bit.
Radiant's middle tower
So they can
is
go
under
here
attack.
without their TA, just because they know that the Storm is not going to be jumping in.
Stupendous.
It's worth it to sacrifice the TA for the tower there, especially if you also get a couple of kills. You get so much more space out of it.
Instant smoke as well, not necessarily to just, I guess just to
Radiant's
spread out
top
to the side
tower
lanes a
is
little
under
bit faster.
attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It's one of those, you know, opportunity smokes. It might give you something,
Yep.
just because they don't expect you to be in the lanes just yet, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It's just an investment, yeah? Maybe? Maybe get lucky?
Maybe, maybe not. If we get to something, then great. If not, it's no big deal. Grand scheme of things, there's still a bounty run up there somehow as the golem is just being dropped. They really want to try and
jumped
punish
in
Supreme, but the
stone.
Doom over me! Went too deep, too far this time. The Sun's bug also on the face as well. He couldn't jump out. Now the leash. What's happening here? That's another kill. Era looking for the next one here. Could maybe just kill get back, especially with the slow, just straight up combo him down. Why the hell not?
Radiant's top tower is under
Just like
attack.
that. The Golem's being dropped and then can't just lose 4 heroes. That is the opposite of what their plan was for them there.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, like, Mio jumps about double as far as I think he should.
Fortified.
Yeah.
And once he's dead, a lot of their threat is out of their lineup. Just because they definitely don't have the chronosphere there, it's just, you know, the possibility of an RP if the fight goes long enough. That was not the play. And you can see that the entirety of Khan, they just follow Mio. They know that that's the right thing to do, but yeah, not in this case.
Bad call, being punished very heavily. Some kills, plus the tower going down. So, NiP, bottom line, 4k gold advantage. Supreme still very much happy with where this game's going, despite all of this increased pressure on him. Already has a Desolator, you know.
Yeah, you know, what I said about waiting for TA's timing, if you have this much beef in front of you, you don't necessarily have to wait for her timing.
Bounty.
Like, especially the toss in from Era, that was absolutely beautiful.
yeah.
It's just like, oh, you're basically a melee hero? Don't worry, let me solve that for you.
Yeah, I mean, who needs a blink if you have a toss? I mean, speaking of blinks, Doom just picked up his, and he's still holding on to the Warstorm, so you have even more ways to just set up for Supreme. Or yourself, even. Like, it's not like Charlie isn't doing damage, right?
Yeah, and this is going to make it much harder for Khan to fight, because one of the things that they rely on is this ability to jump further, jump deeper, get to determine how this engagement is going to go from the start. But
Ooh.
NiP now rivals them on that.
Damn, that looked like a very nice jump here with the Inkswell as well on Charlie, but Gilgir got the lift off and avoided the stuns. I mean, he didn't avoid the death, but I still thought it was nice. Quick reactions.
Yeah, Gilgir has been really quick on the fingers, hasn't he?
Yeah. Props to him for that, at least, even though he's still shed a tear for the loss of the Rubik.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so where do we go from here?
Orchid on
Dire's
Mio.
middle tower is under attack.
That's the
Yeah.
big one. And
Blink on.
I want to point out here, by the way, that this Magnus has not been able to help his Void farm as much as he'd really want to. These lanes have been in, there hasn't been enough space for these two cores to be really near each other and still both be able to farm. So Cheshire Cat is splitting up because he really wants to get that Blink Dagger online. But it's costing his Void.
They almost caught the storm here. At the very least, they got the ward. Very nice as well. With these kind of movements, at the very least, they're denying this jungle to Khan right now.
Yep, you don't necessarily have to be there, you just have to make the enemy feel like they can't be there. And you can really see that in the way that the supports are just covering the cores right now.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone still needs money on the side of Khan.
Visibility.
But Mio just finished the Orchid. Chrono is up, they're gonna move towards top here. Mio's got an Invis as well. No TP
Radiant's middle
on
tower
the
is
Tiny,
under
but
attack.
he is tall. Well, and he's also dead.
Yeah.
That's a nice ult from Saberlight. Khan has to get the hell out, you can't fight this anymore.
Was it? It didn't actually hit anybody.
Was it?
It looked like it did, but it actually didn't hit anybody. But now the RP coming through. Onto and turn. The Chronosphere catches a couple here. Needs the bashes and he finds them. That's one. That's two. Or three in total here. Make it four. Not quite. That kill's been stolen by Cheshire Cat.
Because if you don't hit that, you don't go there.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I mean, I was just like, I'm being a blind old bat here, but no.
It kind of looked like it would, but it was just outside of range, I guess. And yeah, it's
And NiP thought the same. Wow.
didn't realize, and then can't realize. Wait a second.
Dire's
Not actually
That is
taking
great.
damage from this.
Huh.
All right, let's use the spells, I guess.
Yeah. Wow.
It's what you were touching on in draft. Like if they get to use of spells like this, just chain them together with RPs and.
There's no winning the fight.
And, yeah. Ps and Chronos and what have you.
So the way that NiP should be playing it is to, you know, make more tempo, find more pickoffs, and specifically not look for 5v5s.
Yeah.
But
Now there would be the opportunity for that, right? Especially with these these abilities
Dire's
on
middle
cooldown.
tower
That's
is
why we
under
see
Yeah,
attack.
Charlie
like
and
once
Nisha once
once
again
they use
smoke up.
everything, of course. Yeah, this is smoke for vision.
Dire's top tower is under
Ooh,
attack.
Smoke
Smoke
He runs
breaks.
straight into Josh again. Or vice versa.
Yeah, because this Roshan's going on, and
Yeah.
that is the other way to survive, you know, a chain of really big spells like that. Is a right fight and you throw everything at me and I come back.
Dire's
If
top
NiP get to
tower
play their
is under
game the way they
attack.
want to,
Your
just
Charlie
leveraging
has
this
fallen into the dump.
extremely good EA timing. It's not keep that out of sight. It's Blink Death or ages. It's 18 minutes. It's nothing to ignore.
And
can
they
actually
were
leverage
ready.
that. They will be good. They will be fine.
They were ready to find a fast fight as well, with Charlie TPing to the bottom lane, seeing if he could catch anyone. And they still look like they want to make a bit of this pincer movement, but it's getting rough now. The timings for all of these spells, the cooldowns are nearly back up.
He's
That's
ready
when
20
it's
seconds on
terrible.
the chrono. There's the RP actually. Straight on top of the Doom. Charlie, he's pretty tanky though. The Doom over in the Void. Just was purely defensive. The rest of NiP not quite ready to come in. But Charlie's trying to keep vision on somebody here. Era. Let's find Cheshire Cat at least. Faces Void able to juke it out.
Still most likely going to cost him a tower here on Khan, but not the worst
Dire's
price to pay,
top tower
definitely.
is under attack.
And they're trading as well. Mio had no intention of teleporting whatsoever.
Yeah. It's all the way on the other side of the map. Still tier 1 to grab here, some extra free money. Doesn't have that
Radiant's bottom
defensive
tower
item and it
is
looks
under
like it doesn't
attack.
want one.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
There are not
Radiant
any like
structures are
directly
fortified.
threatening spells except once against the
Dire's
Doom.
structures
Nothing like the
are
silence
fortified.
on the previous game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Alright,
get
here we
it
go. All the spells up,
eventually.
except for the RP, but hey, you've got
Radiant's
to stand
bottom
in for
tower
that.
has fallen.
Smoke will break on
Dire's
Faces
top
Void
tower is
as
under
they
attack.
figure out that there's actually dire wards up
Radiant's
here.
middle tower is under attack.
Saberlight can
Okay,
just now. Rock!
can't get one. Meal goes into the chronosphere. As Venomancer still gets his spells out. They have a lot of control here with the Silence Bug over on Neo. The follow-up stun, he's actually dead. Faces Void also in a bit of trouble here. Metastyles gets out of there.
Huh?
And Supreme's
he?
not done
Yeah,
yet.
he gets
Cheshire
that.
Cat is in a world of hurt. Can he make his way out of there? Gets the blink somehow. Good damage on his fresh trap.
Era
What
went
the hell
in!
is happening here? Era! You are
Got
a
him.
madman!
Got him. And this is
God,
exactly
Supreme, you're mad too!
the-
What the fuck? I mean, okay, at this point you realize, wait, everyone
He's
else
last.
is dead, so you might as well, you know. So.
Yeah, that was I still didn't see that one coming. I saw Era coming. I was like, alright, fine. The mag's too deep, right? Right?
Yeah.
But this is exactly the anti-synergy I was talking about at the start, with the added unfortunate effect of the golem just getting dropped on basically nothing. That's not. I'm so sorry, J4, but that's not an engagement spell. You don't start by dropping the rock.
Radiant's middle tower
Maybe
has
he was
fallen.
afraid that he was too close in vision, was going to get jumped, etc. But ideally, you want to throw that rock after the Chronosphere is thrown down. Instead, rock gets thrown on only a Venomancer. Then the Chronosphere catches Mio.
Yeah, if
And
Mio
then the
wasn't caught
Venomancer
on
doesn't
that,
die.
if he zipped below
Radiant
the
are
chronosphere on the
scanning.
side of it or whatever, if he gets to right-click the Venomancer
Yep.
once or twice, that's enough to make sure that Saberlight doesn't get his greaves and his stick and his spells up. Maybe that fight looks a little bit different. I mean, still wouldn't have been ideal. They now smoke up again. No chronosphere for another 45, but the blink RP is online. At the very least, they're trying to stagger these ultimates, you know, at least always keeping one available. I'll catch Saberlight here. Maybe a bit overkill, just use RP on a single target like that. But at
He
this point,
deserved
you
it.
gotta
He was
stay.
out too far.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower
Doom's
is under
routing
attack.
himself as BKB though. This game is not getting easier for Khan.
Vampire Fangs, final tier 2 neutral item. NiP. Oh, very tough to catch a Storm Spirit with a Blink Stomp, though, because it's a bit of a wind up to say the least.
You shouldn't be able to ever. But the intimidation is enough. Look at them just corralling Khan back, even though they didn't have Saberlight at all. There was no farming going on there whatsoever.
At the very least, the jungle is clear, so they're moving towards the general area right now. They also have to defend. I was gonna say the tower, but of course that died already.
Radiant's top
Arrow
tower
looking for a
is
toss
under
back.
attack.
Ooh, gets the avalanche and J4. Charlie with a follow-up.
Yeah. I guess you don't have to throw him anywhere if you have that much damage.
Just kill him, lol.
Yeah.
Right.
Arrow's been playing this absolutely amazingly.
So what is this movement?
Radiant's
Do you really
top
think they
tower is
can
under
defend the
attack.
tier 2? If they hide in the trees and cast the spells?
Yes. Because
Just the two of them?
Warlock. The rest of them can and will TP in.
Yeah. If everyone's there, for sure.
Radiant's top
It's like
tower
with the
is under
chain of
attack.
spells that you have, you don't necessarily need to have all of them there at the start. You have a lot of time to disable between the chrono and the RP. You just ideally would want to be hitting them during that time as well.
It's only Supreme who's really showing himself. Everyone else woke up behind, actually.
Radiant's top
I know exactly
tower
how
is
to
full.
deal with this. Try and not give them the opportunity. Oh my god, they fight both of them there!
Great read!
Oh my god! Doom gonna use on a single target here. No Void, Cheshire Cat. Very little Sableye in front. I mean, he's living through that.
Supreme just gonna go now, but
I mean, he's
heal
gonna
is
die
ready.
eventually to Fatal Bond Supreme with BKB.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Just make sure they
Radiant's
can
top
survive
tower is
here,
under
but
attack.
3-for-1 trade with the buyback is... Yeah, we're not quite done yet. Oh my god, the timing into error. Alright, I see what you're talking about with Mew. The timing was
Yeah.
perfect, just connecting just as the BKB ends so you actually get
Dire's
some
middle
damage
tower
out
is under
from the
attack.
jump.
He
Well,
is
obviously.
extremely skilled,
Yeah.
but I don't think he feels the team play
Radiant's
aspect of
bottom
Pro
tower is
Dota
under
quite yet.
attack.
Because in a pub, if you do this, you get that kill because that Tiny is already halfway across the map. He's looking to get, well, like a bounty rune or something.
In a pro game,
But-
you have to expect that they're retreating together and that they're ready for stuff like that.
Bounty.
The instant reaction coming through and
Oh, snap.
just graveyard at this point.
Your failure lives on.
At some point, this ramp is going to be blocked by corpses.
Make a small flower here, you know. There's another fight happening here. Oh, another kill, I should say. Void caught out again. How they're just falling apart right now. It's like one
I
of
really
these-
think that it's, especially if you're used to Mio sometimes completely taking over games, it's not just about him taking over games by playing, but also he's going to be much more vocal once he's doing that. And right now they look pretty disconnected, and
Yep.
it's probably because nobody is really calling the shots right now. They just have to play for their cooldowns, and those are so long that in the gaps in between you just sort of lose track of what's necessary to do.
Yep. It certainly does feel like that. It's like
Dire are
they started to
scanning.
stumble, started to be brought off balance, and then they just kept the chain going. Oh, that guy's dead. All right, I guess we can't really fight, so we just do our thing and try and get something by ourselves. But then another guy dies, and another one, and oh, I'm just gonna D-ward. Oh no, I'm dead.
Yeah.
And,
I
yeah, it
still
really
needed
takes
to D-ward here,
it
but
really
they
takes a
kept
captain to
fighting.
say,
Yeah.
yeah, what you were talking about, right? Let's keep them together and make sure that everyone's focused. Everyone knows. All right, don't do that now.
That should help.
Don't go out to D-ward. Just wait until you're all ready. Because they are going to be on our side of the map. They are going to be controlling us.
Yeah. And it's easy for us to say you're from the sideline, like, yeah, duh, they're gonna be there, but... Mostly that's sort of... Oh,
I
no!
don't think Ghost Scepter was the player there. That's my expert opinion. Not sure who would have known,
Yeah.
by the way.
It's... Well, if it's the Doom that jumps, you live.
Yeah.
If it's the Tiny, you die. BTA wasn't gonna be there.
Let the fun begin.
You had enough mana there,
Oh,
or
no,
did he?
Neo.
Oh, he's
You ran out of mana!
tossed
Yeet.
back into the Doom just for good measure. The RP catches Saberlight. Maybe not the ideal target to secure back. Oh my god, Shashicat. I think there was a stray Saberlight there that brought him down half health. The
Very
arrows.
painful.
Yeah.
And this feels much like the other game ended, doesn't it? Like, the last fight has kind of already happened and now both of them are just playing it out. And I gotta say, NiP are bloodthirsty in playing it out. They gotta be careful though. There's big ults on the other side. It's always easier to come back if you have big ultimates. Naive and J4, still keeping an eye on one another.
You gotta be very careful, especially in these kind of retreats.
Yeah. Like, no. We walking out of here.
Let's walk back, but all walking next to each other, hand in hand. You know, so. We did it, guys! And then, oh god, there's a bonus again. Everybody's like.
To be fair, right now it's very hard to imagine that the Chronosphere has enough damage. There is a Defu up on the Void now, but he's not gonna get more than a single target out of it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you do get the Chronosphere.
Smoke to chase. They're going to contest this Roche. If they can get a good fight right here. Oh, but NiP are not going in. They're retreating. They know. Smoke broke.
Did it again, Kips. You did it again. Meanwhile, back initiation on the Void gets taken out before he can even consider a Chrono. It's the BKB's make the run away. Arrow finds the double. Kills one, J4. Well, right clicks are not gonna do it, so just gonna need to require some help from his team.
Yeah.
J4 resigns to his fate.
Well, deliberate choice then, which is interesting. I'm gonna have to think about that more after the game is over, but I definitely don't think that... The only thing I can imagine is that he's too scary to get jumped on by either the Doom, scared to get jumped on by the Doom or the Tiny. Man, I can't even talk anymore.
I think both of these times as well, initially there were two people linked together. But Grimstroke, both times Misha was able to link away. He didn't actually take damage from the bombs, so
Yeah.
it was only Saberlight who actually got caught in the golem. Either way, though, yeah, it's still better as a follow-up potentially. Even if
Yeah, and it hinges on the potentially, right?
Yeah.
He's making a calculation there. We think that he could live and get it off. He does not think so.
Yeah.
You know what? He's a pro player. He might just be right. Oh no, Mia, not again!
What is this?
Uh,
Did he play that earlier kill?
It's the bottom lane, and he can't be out further than his mana pool allows him to jump back.
Why does the long lane have to be so long? Do you
Geometry.
remember that? People calling it the long lane?
I mean,
Used to be a thing,
Yeah.
right?
used to be a thing. It's I think it's mostly the jungle trait that has made it the short lane during most games. Oh, RP skewer back.
That's a pretty good target to do it on. And actually get this kill. Ah, they cannot. The counter initiation has to pops the BKB before the Aegis respawn. So there's that at least, but we've already lost 3 people. There's a buyback on Magnus. Maybe we can secure somebody else back here, but nice. Waiting for that.
Oh, can you imagine having the rock there?
Radiant's middle tower
Again.
is under attack.
Would have been good.
Ah, that's rough. But then again, that's also the only reason that NiP can position the way they do, because they know the rock's not up yet. I don't think Supreme would have been that far forward, and even then, he doesn't like losing the Aegis this way. This was still flippant.
Yep, it seems like they have a good handle on where they are right now and how they can play this game.
Bounty.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the other thing, right? If you get this much ahead, you definitely earn yourself the right to take more risks because you have more of a buffer.
Bounty.
It's just always gotta be calculated.
Yep.
In this case, like, the fact that they don't have an Aegis anymore means that they can't actually take the base tower, which is rough. At the same time, though, it's going to be extremely hard for Khan to get a good fight because there is no forced choke point anymore. Are they gonna just drop an initiating rock again? Please, please, J4, you're smoked. Just yeah, wait.
Baiting them. There we go. That's the
Yes, there we
chronosphere
go.
that we're looking for. The BKB and TA though makes it impossible with the Yules too. Naive. The BKB is on to protect them, so don't take any damage inside of it. J4 pretty much useless now. Mio caught in the backlines with the stuns and silences. That's 2, 3 down. J4 somehow gets out. I think he TP'd, but yeah, GG's goal is that one. It was the right idea, but they were too far behind to actually do anything with it. Especially with the BKB coming out, all of a sudden you have 0 damage on the void.
Yeah, that was unfortunate because that was the execution that they needed for a comeback fight.
Especially with the very obvious, it was very obvious bait from Cat. Like, you know, you just send him out there. I mean, what's he gonna do? He's already empowered, he doesn't have RP. Just try and make them clump up on him.
Yeah, but they did. Of course, they also knew that they could, but still. Yeah. I feel like in the case of Khan here, the moment where they get really desperate is the moment where they actually do the right things again. But before, maybe they feel like they have some sort of leeway left, you know, they can sort of do their own thing. But you gotta get desperate earlier. You gotta make a play like this earlier. This was, if you do this 10 minutes ago, that's fantastic. But unfortunately, NiP just had a really tight grip on this game, and it made it very hard for Khan to naturally find these moments. And yeah, this is exactly what I meant after the previous game, where I said that I could easily see that game snowball the way of NiP. It happened right here, because there's also a way for Khan to execute this game better. Although, I gotta say, the anti-synergy does make it harder.
Yeah. You gotta wonder in some of these situations where if these things don't go wrong, maybe that's the point where the game forks in a completely different way, because all of a sudden you don't lose that fight, which means you have a bit of extra control of them over the map after winning that, and then you have some farm, and then you have more ways to just play yourself rather than being played. If that makes sense, you know.
Yes, exactly. I mean, No-Tail just calls it having plays to make. As long as you have a play to make, you feel good. And Khan just didn't really feel like they had plays to make.
Yeah. Alright, we're gonna take a short break, but then we will be right back with next series, as this is a 1-1 tied series. As it turns out, 1 point for Khan at least, and also 1 for NiP. But hey, Khan did give NiP that first loss, actually, first defeat in this tournament. So no crazy undefeated sprees in this one, I'm afraid. 5-man versus Unique coming up next. Stay tuned for that.